guys, welcome back to our channel. It's good to have you back here. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Solo.
And we found a quiet time to film once again, but we're having to be a little quiet because the baby's sleeping nearby. Today we're just gonna chat with you. You send us a lot of email questions and we really appreciate those. And we're just gonna go through them and answer them. I do want to mention one thing before we start. We like to share things that we really love. And right now, we just finished a book last night that we really loved and we thought we'd share it with you. Did you like it enough to share?
Oh, that one, yeah, it was great. I just told a couple of friends to read it.
It's called Left to Tell. We might be late to the game. It's not a new book.
No, it isn't. Yeah.
And it's really good. It's a girl's story who lived through the genocide in Rwanda. So we read it with our teenagers. We read it out loud, all 5 of us together, and we really enjoyed it. We read it in 3 nights. There were several midnight reading sessions. So that's how good it was. They didn't want us to put it down. We'll leave that link in the description box below. I went to look for it and the baby moved it somewhere. I can't find it at the moment. It'll be down below, but also if you have never read with your kids out loud, even your teenagers, I mean our oldest is 17, and it is really a fun experience. So I encourage you to give it a try. Sit your teenagers down, get a book that you're all really interested in, or at least some of you are, and maybe the others will find the interest. But it's better than movie night.
It really is. It really is. And then you have some real good dialogues, because this one is based on a true story, real life things.
Love true stories.
I remember when it was happening, you know, Rwanda is not that far from Kenya. And so even a lot of refugees came to Kenya, escaping the genocide. And so I gotta admit that I choked up a few times. So it's one of those that you want a tissue, but it's also... It
is, you should know, it's very detailed and very gory at times. So it may not be appropriate for you, but find a book that you can read with your family. This one provoked a lot of great conversation, and it's good to have those conversations about deep things with your kids. So okay, we're going to answer your questions. You guys sent them in via email. If you want to submit a question, there'll be an email address down below. We're actually switching that email because we were hacked. Subscription hacked. We got subscribed to like thousands of things a day. It's real fun.
Yeah.
But we'll put a new email address down below for you. And we're saving the ones that you already sent in for those of you that already sent it in. Okay, Christina asked, my husband and I are trying to purchase a home. The issue we have is that we have more debt than income. I have student loans and credits I am paying off. How can I lower my debt within a few months?
I don't know your whole situation, but from what I'm hearing right now is that you have more debt than income and you're wanting to buy a house. My guess is that there's probably a lot of pressure because right now it's really a good time to buy a house if you've never owned one before. Interest rates are the lowest that they've ever been. And so in some cases, especially first-time home buyers, if you're not going for a big house in some certain cities and stuff, it might actually be cheaper to buy a house and make a mortgage payment than it is to pay rent. Now, home ownership comes with other responsibilities, like you're going to be responsible for taking care of a lot of things, so you need to have some cash. Without knowing your situation in full, I could tell you just by the little info I have, is that there's going to be some sacrifices that need to be made if you're going to be buying a house. You're going to either have to change lifestyle somewhere aggressively and cut expenses to save money. The debt, especially credit cards and those types of things, car payments, those types of things, you're going to have to be real creative with that and eliminate as much as possible. But 3, you're going to need to save money because you're going to need some down payment and some closing cost. If you're going to even get in on loans like FHA or any other programs that are backed by maybe government insurance, that you don't have to come up with as much down payment, but still have other closing costs associated. So I hope I answered your question. I think if it's your ultimate dream, you still could buy a house, but you're gonna need to save money really quickly. So maybe getting other sources of income or changing your lifestyle. Sacrifice has to be made, and it could be both sides. Maybe it's an addition to income plus cutting expenses to get closer to your goal. But you're gonna have to deal with the debt though. You're gonna have to figure out a way to start taking that debt down. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a very difficult situation even when you own a home.
I know our culture right now debt is very, very normal. But let me tell you, we have strived not through our whole owning a house experience, but for as much as the time as we could, and a lot of it. We have had our mortgage as our only debt, and that makes such a big difference in having some financial freedom. So I would encourage you too, if you do go right away to get a house, or you'd wait and decide to get rid of the debt, still, even if you go now to get a house, work so hard to get rid of that debt, because it will make you feel a lot freer and just give you a lot more flexibility. Things do come up with houses, like he said, when you own. It's different than when you rent, and you need some income flexibility.
Exactly. But it also did take some sacrifice earlier on in our marriage, you know?
A lot.
Tremendous sacrifice and focus. So to get to that point.
We didn't have it all paid off, all our debt besides our house paid off with our first home though. So we did have a little debt when we had our first home, some student loans, but we had it paid off by the time we went to our second home. And so it makes a big difference. It was a lot more freeing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, Rhonda said, hi, I have 19-month-old twins and they're starting to act interested in using the potty. They aren't able to use pull-ups yet, like actually pulling them down. Trying to teach and get them both taken care of at the same time is exhausting. Do you have any suggestions? I've been a fan from the start and really enjoy your channel. I've always wanted a large family, but unfortunately my husband passed away in August. Thanks a ton. And we are so sorry to hear that.
Rhonda.
Yeah. Boy, I can't imagine how exhausted you are with two
twins.
19-month-olds.
Oh, bless you. God bless you.
Yes.
Rhonda.
I think it's a really good sign that they want to potty train. I've usually waited till they show interest. It's gone the easiest for me when they're really wanting to. But also I wait till they can pull their pants down on their own. And I most of the time I don't train to pull
Sorry, I'm laughing because when they don't, then you're going to the party with them every single time.
Yes. and I don't actually usually train to pull-ups. I train to underwear right away. And so I get a little bit bigger size of underwear so they can easily pull it up and down themselves and make sure their pants are a little looser. Because the more independent they can be, I can imagine with twins. I mean, I haven't had twins, but I would imagine that independence for that in that department would help you a lot. 19 months is still young, so you have time if you don't feel like they're really ready. I make sure they can really talk about it with me and tell me some key words about going to the potty so that we can understand each other, and that they can pull their pants down and pull them up on their own. You usually get a stool at the potty or something so they can be independent. I found that helped a lot. And then, like I said, going straight to underwear, because the pull-ups can feel just like diapers. We use pull-ups just for when they're sleeping mostly. So, or if we're going out in the very beginning, out like to church or something, and they're not quite fully trained. But otherwise, that's how we see it. Hey, Rhonda, we will be praying for you as the Lord reminds us, because you got your hands full.
Yes.
I know that's a cliche statement, but you truly do, and God bless you.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, it looks like Michelle asked, does your family have a family devotion Bible time? If so, what do you guys use and how do the kids like it? Thank you for being a light in this dark world. Your sweet family is a blessing to many.
That's very nice.
Yeah, so with our young ones, we have a couple different books that we have loved. I will link them down below. One is like a devotional. It's really old school, but it's very sweet.
He uses King James
translation. And it's like Leave It to Beaver time that it was written, I think. My mom did it with us when we were little. It's really good for like preschool ages and just capturing their attention. So I've used that one a lot. And then there's a book I'm doing right now with my kindergartner. A couple of my older kids actually really like the book too. They try to listen in. I'll link that one down below. We got it through our Sunlight curriculum, but it's a popular one, I guess, with doing devotions with the younger kids. When our kids get older, we like to really encourage them to be hearing from God themselves as they're reading through the Word. So, like right now when we're meeting with them, we're talking to them about, hey, what's the Lord saying to you? And we'll tell them,
what are you learning? What are you hearing?
This is what I've read this is what I got out of the Word that I read, and I'm wanting to hear that from them. He's looking for that from them too. And so that's kind of the approach we take as they get older and are reading the Word themselves. I know every family is different, and we don't always have a specific time that we're doing that, but we try to most of the time in our routine life.
Yeah, so try to make it part of our lives, and also nurturing that independence in everybody, like developing that personal study alone. So we do talk a lot about it, and sometimes we'll have devotions, but not, like Sarah said, don't have like schedule every single day or a specific time we come into for family devotion. So,
but we talk about the Lord through our whole life too. So
yes,
I mean, right now our time is during our school day that we all meet together. But we always are talking about the Lord in every situation we're going through. We're praying about situations together and just making the Lord a real part of our lives. We really feel like that is
not compactualizing.
Yes,
time with God. And there are many different styles to nurture. I'm sorry for
but no, you're fine. But living your faith out in front of your kids is going to be a lot more impactful than just teaching them. Kids follow what you do more than what you say, right?
Yeah.
Is that the thing?
Yeah.
And so that's how we try to approach it ourselves. I know my brother and I grew up serving the Lord and loving the Lord and still do. And my parents didn't always have like this a Bible study that we did at a certain time every night and all that. But they really lived their lives as
and they taught
people of faith in front of us. So
yeah, but they still teach you through their lives, and you
Yes.
still talk about these things. It's just that it's not scheduled.
Yeah,
I think that's the key
exactly.
thing.
So
Yeah.
that's good. Scheduling is good too. But this is from a mom watching from the East Coast, and she asked for my homemade ranch seasoning. And yes, I will write that out down below. I love it. And it's very easy. We always have it around. In fact, one of my kids told me the other day, I will never eat store-bought ranch. Homemade ranch is way better. It's really good for dip too. Hello, my name is Tristan. I am a young mom of 3, and our little family is always trying to find ways to save. Do y'all have suggestions for saving money, not just cutting back on things? I love this question.
I wish we could all figure out that. No, I'm kidding. It's true though. Anytime maybe you ask about saving money, you're like, oh well, cut back on eating out, cut back on doing that, cut back on doing. It's like then it becomes very boring to save money. So I like to think of it of when you're saving, there's a reason why you're saving. Is it, are we talking long term, short term? Maybe some saving to make a big purchase, or are you just saving to save money? So if you don't want to mess with cutting things back and save money, my suggestion was get a percentage of your income that you want to save. So it's like systematically saying, hey, 10%, 5%, whatever part of my income is automatically going to saving. So then to me that would be one way to not make it so dramatic. Having the saving come from the top. It could be a percentage or an amount that just automatically every time you're getting paid. So you never see it in your checkbook. You never see it in your checkbook. It automatically gets transferred to your savings account or whatever. Just no different than you do for 401k or those types of things when you're saving for retirement. They take it out of your paycheck, or while they're taking other deductions. So you don't really have to think about it as income. So that would be my suggestion to you, is that maybe you just predetermine the amount, and it's not at the bottom, it's at the top. And so it automatically gets transferred. You don't see it. That would be one way to save it without nitty-gritty picking on what to cut and what to not cut.
There are some creative ways we've done this over the years that are just a little outside the box. And one of them would be, we have, like, if it's a goal, like say we were saving, we have done this a number of times in our marriage.
For Apaches.
Saving for a trip to Kenya. So we will talk about that all the time, and it helps us like really be able to throw money on it. Like if it's Disney World or whatever it is, like just making it up front, plain and center. We talk about it with our kids. It like keeps us on focus, you know?
Yeah.
And we set a date that we know is a little hard to reach, and we just kind of go for it, and it's like an all-in kind of deal. So that is a really fun way to save for a specific thing that you're looking for. Right. Otherwise, other ways we've saved is maybe I have taken like a small job that maybe it's not going to make a ton of money, but we decide all of this we're going to save. So we don't need it to live on, but we're gonna save all this extra. As a mom of 3, I don't know how old your kids are, but it could be that you literally don't have much extra time. But I know I have even taught music lessons during nap times. I've cleaned for neighbors during nap times and done creative things like that. And we have just taken like the extra income and just made it savings, or made it to pay off this or whatever. And so those are kind of some ways you can think outside the box. That's just a few ideas we could think of.
Right.
But Amisha, I think I'm saying that right. She said, hey, I'm a big fan of yours and have enjoyed watching your videos. Due to tragic circumstances, I'm now a single mother to a 6-year-old trying to balance work and finish my degree in nursing. I'm currently $600 in debt due to having to drop my class past the deadline because I got very sick and was hospitalized for weeks. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That's hard. I make $9 an hour, and after paying bills, I find myself living paycheck to paycheck. I desperately want to go back to school, finish my degree, so I can provide a better future for my daughter, but it seems like a distant dream because my school won't let me finish until I paid back the $600
Oh
in
my
debt.
goodness.
Any
yeah.
suggestions on what I could do?
First of all, Misha, you are a rock. You are a strong woman right there, trying to better yourself, working hard, taking care of a child on very, very limited income. I don't know you, but I can tell someone that's trying to work, finishing school, I can tell you have good work ethic and all that.
With a child.
With a child. I would think with a person of your energy that number one, there are probably opportunities that you haven't discovered yet in terms of job that could earn you more than $9 an hour. Especially if you're already down the path of a nurse, towards getting a nursing degree. She's a nurse. I know you could have.
Yeah,
so,
I know in our area, nurse aides would make quite a bit more than $9 an hour. So yeah, I would definitely encourage you to look.
Open your eyes and look really hard.
In fact, when I was in school, I know there were some people that were, they were a nurse aide, and their job was actually paying for them to go through school, and they were committing to like 5 years at the company that they were already at. So there might be more things out there that you could take advantage of, maybe that you haven't found.
Yeah, so pray for ideas, get some quiet time, pray for ideas, and think of ways that you could do. But I would encourage you to really, really try harder, prayerfully, and look for other opportunities within, I don't know where you live, that maybe you might be able to make more money. Secondly, look for ways, invest your time, maybe right now that you're not taking classes, invest the rest of your time in the meantime, and looking for opportunities for maybe scholarships, or financial aid. See what you're qualified for. There are things out there that can help people in your situation that would be able to get ahead. You know, you don't need to stop school. You're trying to better yourself so you could earn more. But I believe there's something there for you. To visit with someone, a coach or someone that can maybe speak into your life a little bit, pastor or someone that can just help you, maybe connect you with someone that can help pave ways or open doors for you. So
yeah, I think actually that is the best advice, is start knocking on doors. Talk to people in the school that work in financial aid and work in scholarships, and maybe other schools even
other schools
that and their scholarship programs and different job opportunities, maybe a hospital that you're interested in working at in the future, and knock on a lot of doors and tell your story and see what doors open up, because you are very close to getting back on track. It's so close. Yeah. And I know that you will be able to find the help that you need, because there are people out there that want to help, and there are companies out there that want to help people just like you.
That's right.
Because they want you to be their employer in the future too.
And I can tell that just by the fact that you're doing school, working and taking care of a child, you're the kind of person that some employers want. And many employers want that, people that are hardworking like that.
You've hit a bump in the road.
Yep.
But you will get over this bump.
Yep. Sometimes also we run into a bump on the road because God's trying to get our attention, because sometimes the right doors don't always open until the other one shuts. So you might be on a crossroad, and this bump in the road might be just for one to get you to pause and look maybe where you haven't looked before. But maybe your hour of opportunity is now to just get to another level, get your education, and more income when you're doing it. So
don't give up, though.
Don't give up. You got this, girl. You got this.
All right, Kim said, I know your older children are aware of current events. How do you go about introducing them? I'm sure that it could emotionally affect them if not addressed in the right way. Thank you and God bless. I like that question a lot. It's a good one. One rule that we sort of always follow, you never give a child a suitcase bigger than they can handle. So in other words, you answer the question that they're asking. They may ask something and you think, oh my gosh, let's take the birds and the bees. I'm talking in code here because I don't know what little ears are listening. But say they ask some question and you think they're asking the real deal, but they really just have some simple question. Try to really hear what they're asking and answer the question where they're asking it. That's kind of something we've always followed with whatever our kids are interested in or curious about. And we don't give them more than they can handle. So we don't, if they ask a simple innocent question, we don't go into way more detail than they ask.
That's
when
necessary.
They're young.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but your kids also know maybe more than you think they do. Like our 3-year-old heard someone was sick the other day and said, does she have coronavirus? So she's 3 and we haven't really sat down and talked to her about coronavirus much, but she knows what's going on in the world around her. And so kids they know stuff, they know what's going on. And so I think focusing on having a relationship where they know they can come to you, they know they can talk to you about what they have questions about, and what's going on with that they've heard from their friends or in school or whatever is so important, having that open communication. And then you'll know like when they're ready to handle more and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that you're talking about a little baby older kids, like you reference our older kids and stuff. So I guess as parents, we are the protectors of our kids, so there's a lot of information out there that isn't always good and healthy.
Yes.
And needs to be talked through in a sober way, because it doesn't always get disseminated properly, and so it could really have damage on adults. Forget young people. Adults can be manipulated and hurt by several things. Maybe laying out that foundation of knowing how to eat the meat and throw the bones kind of thing, having those ongoing conversations and shaping worldviews, and also just the reality that not everything you're hearing also is true.
Yeah, we have that conversation a lot.
So having that, it makes them be able to think, process, and be able to be free thinkers, and be able to listen to the information and make judgment for themselves. So as they get older, they develop that, and so they can hear it and they can say, there's a lot of it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of information here, but not all of it is profitable. And being able to bisect and say, okay, that's good stuff. I'll pass on that. So
I think that the thing I would want to say the most is that you need to have these conversations with your child
ongoing,
because you are shaping your kid's worldview, and that's your job as a parent. If you think that they know nothing about what's going on in the world around them, you're probably wrong, unless you're really living under a rock. So start bringing these conversations up. Dinner table is a great time to talk about what's going on in the world. Hey, did you hear about this? What do you guys think about that?
What do you think about it? Yeah.
And let them get in on the discussion. Don't avoid the hard topics of what's going on in our world. The world ends up coming into our home, basically, like it affects our lives. So they need to know, what does mom and dad think of this? And what's an appropriate response? Yes, exactly. So having those conversations is really good. We love the dinner table for those kind of things. Sometimes our dinner table is loud, but finding even sometimes we'll send the little ones away and just keep talking with the big kids. But finding those times to have those conversations is so important. It's vital, actually, and don't wait. That's what I would say. Yeah. If your kids are getting older, like tweens, they're ready for sure. Older kids, they know some stuff that's going on, and they want to know what you know about it or what you think. So
absolutely. So going back to maybe a line I threw out there without completing the thought was about the protection nature of a parent too. Our kids are spirit, soul, and body. You would not have anybody try and harm your child physically. And so information wise too is that, hey, sometimes emotionally some things are harmful. And so we need to be protective to our kids as well in their emotions and their spiritual being. No way, so come back with your swords and says no, because there's a lot of junk out there too that can be harmful emotionally for kids. And so just like we wouldn't let anybody abuse our children physically, we can't let them be abused emotionally or spiritually mentally by the things that are happening or being said. So again, ongoing dialogue helps to be able to be that should I say mama bear or papa bear that protects your kids all around it. So
that's true. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. We have some good questions coming up. I was just looking through some of them, and we're going to answer them next time, I'm sure. But we appreciate you sending them in. I hope you guys have a great week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.